Young Wizards, welcome back to the Pants Free Podcast. Best enjoyed and recorded pants free. I'm Rich, and today we're going to talk about the basics. But the basics can be boring, so we're going to go over desire and some of the interesting, fun parts that'll keep you motivated, or at least keep me motivated, get you through it. Tom Bilyeu talks about this. I really like him recently, especially for the motivation and the information he's been sharing. More or less, he encourages people to focus on their desire, their main goal, what they really want, because without that, it's hard to keep going. It can be hard to persevere. So I'll start with the story of my own desire. So I played Magic as a kid, I told you, but I didn't tell you exactly what happened to really spark my interest here in the last few years. I found out in 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. I'm not exactly sure what the dates, but I realized that my dual lands were worth so much money. Dual lands, for the Magic players know, the dual land's a very good card, but I had in 2002 a deck idea, and I wanted it to be a white deck and a red deck, and it was hard back then to make a deck that had two different colors. So you needed these lands that produced multiple types of colors called dual lands. And so I went out to the Gibraltar Trade Center, which was the only place that I could go to pick up an individual Magic card, because back then there weren't card shops all over. You couldn't go sit down and there'd be a counter full of singles and pick out what card you wanted. No, if you wanted a Magic card, you went to Meijer and bought a pack, and you opened the pack, and whatever was in it, that's what you got. And if you wanted a specific card, you had to trade it off your friends. Hope your friends had one. Well, there was this Gibraltar Trade Center here in my town, north side of Detroit. And at the Gibraltar Trade Center, they would have trade shows. So they would have different collectible and antique, gun and knife shows, and all these different shows. And the one show that I went to was the collectible card show. And so there were all these vendors and all these tables and this huge, basically, floor, this huge storeroom of, just it seemed like limitless vendors, in this giant building. And it was the Gibraltar Trade Center, and there was all these cards and all these Magic cards, and it was the greatest place where everything was basically, all these cards were basically half price. All the vendors are competing with each other to get your sale. And so I wanted to go there to get these dual lands. I picked up a Plateau, my very first Plateau, my very first dual land. Guy was selling it for $3.50. Some of the Magic players here won't believe that, but that's the price that he wanted for this beat up Plateau. Now, I'm a man of efficiency. I want to, I want the deal. So if it's 2 for $5 or 4 for $10, as this guy was offering it, well, it's a little better than $3.50 each. 4 for $10 brings it down to about $2.50. So I said, I'll take all 4. He offered me a set of all 4 white dual lands. So it's Scrubland, Savannah, Plateau, and the Tundra. So I picked up 4 dual lands in 2002. Grand total of $10. Some people won't believe that story, but I think that's what happened. The best as I can remember, that's how it went. And so in 2020, when I realized that my dual lands, let's say 2022, so I bought them in 2002-ish, and in about 2022 or 2021, I realized they were collectively worth about $1,000. So if I paid $10 for 4 lands and they became worth $1,000 in 2 decades, I did the math on it. It turns out they went up 10x a decade. So if something is going up, appreciating in value 10x in 10 years, if something can go from $10 to $100 to $1,000 each consecutive decade, well, what's to stop it from going from 1,000 to 10,000, or from 10,000 to 100,000? And that's the understanding that I had in 2021, 2022, and I asked myself, why didn't I buy more dual lands in 2002? Well, I can't go back to 2002 and buy more dual lands, but what I can do now is make sure that I don't regret not buying more Magic cards in 2021. And that's the perspective I had when I went into buying Magic cards headlong at historically very high prices. So if the trajectory continues, I'll do well. If it doesn't continue, well, it'll be embarrassing. But for me, the excitement of the possibility of having an asset, especially a Magic card, something I play with, something I enjoy, going up in value so much, being a potential investment, I was like, wow, I need to double down on this. So I bought a ton of cards. And part of the story is going to be talking about the investments I made, the cards I bought, smart or not. But really, it has to be a desire. If you want something bad enough, you've got to have the desire. So I wanted the cards bad enough. I wanted this podcast bad enough. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm standing here. That's why I'm sharing you this message, this story, and these mistakes I've made. But I promised you we're going to start with the basics. Today's mental and physical health. It's the very basics, okay? So the basics of achievement is a mental health issue called desire. And that's what we've been covering right now, mental subject called desire, not a mental health issue. But really it's the physical I almost wanted to focus more on today. Mental and physical I feel like to be baseline, very baseline. So without going too deep into any of the specific things about physical needs, I really just want to articulate, because I could go into this, each one of these much more later, but it is very important. Take care of yourself physically. There's no sense in having Magic cards that are going to be worth 100 times the value in 20 years if you aren't alive in 20 years. Unless you're leaving them to somebody, I can understand. Something like that. But I think it is important, if you're going to invest in anything, the first thing you should be investing in is your physical health, also your mental health, because you won't make it that long to see the value of your investments without taking care of yourself first. So your first investment is your physical health. You've got to sleep. You've got to eat. I mean, I don't want to get silly here and start talking about you need to keep yourself warm and not die, but literally you need to not get in a car accident and crash. You need to feed yourself, and don't underestimate feeding yourself. You feed yourself crap, you feel like crap, you think like crap. We need to see, we need the wizards coming up with adequate nutrition. I had a great documentary by Dr. Gerson that I watched a very long time ago that taught me more or less the very simplest, most obvious health advice ever. Bring in more nutrients and bring in less toxins. It's that simple. Bring in less toxins, bring in more nutrients. So when you've got food that's full of a bunch of crap, well, that's toxins, and if you've got food that's full of a bunch of nutrients, well, that's your nutrients. You want to increase the nutrient food and decrease the crap food. You want to decrease the times that you're breathing in all those paint fumes, and you open that factory sealed piece of plastic and you're getting that factory like a plastic smell. All those chemicals you're breathing into your lungs absorb all that. You're behind a guy who's driving a diesel tractor. You're running a leaf blower and it's got two-stroke and you're breathing the smell. All those toxins are coming in your body. You've got to get rid of those. So you need to drink water. You need to feed yourself properly. And again, we can go into each one of these far more. But just simply keep in mind that the main important thing to invest on before investing in anything else, especially a Magic card, is your body. So get your sleep, take care of yourself, rest, eat good. Whatever eating good is for you, and that's going to be specific for different people. I don't want to talk about diet forever. But brush your teeth, floss. Why? Because mouth pain sucks. When you've got a terrible ache in your mouth, you're not going to be worrying about what your Magic cards are doing today. Your mouth pain is going to be what your focus is. Brush your teeth. And I'm not being a jerk about it. I don't really love doing it. I like flossing. I floss in my car, but I don't love brushing. I don't brush a ton. But whatever. Everybody's got their own things. Take care of your body is the important part. Stretch, move your body. My job keeps me fairly active, but I also like to get a couple stretches in the morning, and lift some weights, and not that much, but some people like to go to the gym. Other people don't. I don't love going to the gym, but I got some weights around my apartment that I like to lift. So, whatever works for you, take care of yourself is the important part. And I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I think I am. But the key is take care of yourself physically, mentally, keep yourself calm, keep yourself relaxed, And those are the most important things toward going forward. You want to build yourself better tomorrow, but you're not going to get there if you don't bring yourself with you. So take care of yourself, and don't forget about the basics.